The call came without warning. Human Resources on the line. They're offering her a redundancy package. She says she's not interested. They tell her she doesn't have a choice. Weeks earlier, this woman had done something almost nobody in her position does. She told the US government the truth about the company that employed her. This is what that truth cost, and what it was worth. Cheryl Eckard was GSK's Global Quality Assurance Manager. Not a whistleblower by nature, not an activist. Her job was boring on purpose. Walk into pharmaceutical plants, check that the medicine coming out was actually safe, sign off, move on. In August 2002, she was sent to Cedra, Puerto Rico. This wasn't just any factory. It was GSK's #1 plant in the world. 900 employees, 20 different drugs, $5.5 billion in product every single year. Blockbusters, Avandia, Paxil, Coreg. What she found inside broke her. The water system was contaminated. The air system let different drugs cross-contaminate each other on the production line. Pills were coming out too strong, or not strong enough. Antidepressants were shipping without their active ingredient. A skin antibiotic for infants was contaminated with bacteria. An anti-nausea drug for cancer patients wasn't sterile. Different medications were ending up in the same bottles. All the systems were broken, she said later. The facility was broken. The equipment was broken. The processes were broken. It was the worst thing I had run across in my career. She did what her job actually required her to do. She recommended GSK's stop shipping product from the plant immediately. Stop manufacturing for 2 weeks. Investigate. Notify the FDA about the mix-ups. They ignored her. In July 2003, she went over their heads entirely. She wrote directly to GSK's CEO, J.P. Garnier, laying out everything in detail. Still, nothing changed. Quick pause. If you're not subscribed yet, now's the moment, because every one of these stories starts the same way. Someone found a gap nobody thought to close. And here's what I want to know. If your job is literally to catch this kind of danger, and you catch it, is staying silent ever the safer option? I read every single one. In August 2003, with the company still refusing to act, Eckard took her case straight to the FDA. Federal agents didn't wait long. They executed a search warrant at the Cedra plant and seized nearly $2 billion worth of drugs, Avandamet and Paxil CR, the largest drug seizure in FDA history. Around that same time, Eckard discovered something worse than broken equipment. The management team at Cedra was telling federal regulators they'd already fixed problems they hadn't fixed at all. She told her bosses she wouldn't be part of a cover-up. That's when the phone call came. Human Resources. A redundancy package. No choice in the matter. Cheryl Eckard was gone. She didn't disappear quietly. In February 2004, her lawyers filed a lawsuit under the False Claims Act, the law that lets private citizens sue on the government's behalf when a company defrauds it and collect a share of whatever gets recovered. But here's the part almost nobody knows. The case was filed under seal. For years, GlaxoSmithKline had no idea it even existed. While the company kept manufacturing, kept selling, kept operating, a 130-page federal complaint sat quietly in a courthouse, waiting. And GSK? Exactly like Eckard had warned them back in 2002, the FDA eventually placed the Cedra plant under a formal consent decree. In April 2005, every single product now required approval from an independent outside monitor before it could reach a pharmacy shelf. The case took years to unfold, but in October 2010, the Department of Justice announced the result. GlaxoSmithKline's subsidiary pleaded guilty to a felony. The company paid $150 million in criminal fines and another $600 million in civil penalties. $750 million total. One of the largest pharmaceutical settlements in U.S. history at the time. Her attorney, Neil Getnick, called it a turning point. The success of this whistleblower lawsuit will change the way that drug companies run their factories. Under the False Claims Act, Cheryl Eckard was entitled to a cut of the federal recovery. Her share came out to $96 million, the single largest individual whistleblower award ever paid out in the United States, up to that point. "This is not something I ever wanted to do," she said, "but because of patient safety issues, it was necessary." To be fair to GSK, the U.S. attorney overseeing the case, and even Eckard's own lawyer, both stated publicly that no evidence ever surfaced showing a patient was actually harmed. GSK also pointed out that its operations were far from unsupervised. Regulators inspect its manufacturing plants more than 100 times a year, across over 80 facilities in more than 30 countries. Sidra had simply slipped through the cracks for years, until one employee refused to let it keep slipping. This wasn't a story about people getting hurt. It was a story about a system built to catch that kind of danger before it ever could. The Sidra plant never reopened after 2009. The executives who fired her moved on long ago. Under the False Claims Act, whistleblowers can be awarded up to 30% of whatever the government recovers. Eckard's share worked out to 22%. And when GlaxoSmithKline first disclosed the $750 million charge on its own earnings report, back in July 2010, there was no mention of Cheryl Eckard anywhere in it. Neither was there in the press release announcing the final settlement that October. The company that paid her the largest individual whistleblower award in U.S. history never once said her name. Since 1986, lawsuits like hers have returned more than $8 billion to American taxpayers. Money that, without someone willing to speak up, would have simply stayed exactly where it was. That's the kind of loophole this system never wanted anyone to spot. If this is the kind of thing you want to keep discovering with me, subscribing costs you nothing, and it means the world for what comes next.